let's start now. So the topic at hand is chapter 2 of the research analyst. Some of it we have already covered, so we will quickly revise that and then proceed to what is known as the balance of it, है ना. I hope it is audible enough. ठीक है, चलिए. So एक बार आप जरा चेक कर लेंगे इस पे आके audible है कि नहीं. So we understand that this is, है ना. So what are securities, पहले ये बताइए. Who will tell me what are securities? What are securities? These are transferable instruments. That means if it is not transferable, it will not be classified as a security. That's a basic check. And you can raise funds. So securities help in transferring funds. Is it working fine? Is it audible? Audio is there? Yeah. So you transfer funds from someone who has got surplus, someone who has got surplus versus someone who is in deficit. Correct? So the funds will be transferred. Correct? So that is what security is used for. This we have understood. Correct? I hope there is no doubt about it. Yes or no? Then what are the types of securities that we have already spoken about? One is shares a security? Yes or no? Is derivative a securities? Yes or no? Are units of any instrument? For example, कोई collective investment scheme है, so any investment scheme है ना, जैसे mutual fund हो गया, AIF हो गया, are these securities? Yes or no? बोलिए. Are MFs scheme or not? I mean securities? Yes or no? Government securities, also known as GSECs, yes or no? Okay. And then you have rights or interest. REs के बारे में, who is going to present about the REs? The master circular on the REs. I think that's your assignment. Rights entitlement, rights issue. Warrants you are doing. And who's doing rights? Just check that there is an assignment which is given. Master circular on rights. I think you'll find it in LODR. So rights is also part of that. Remember we spoke about it. I gave you an assignment that you have to go and figure out that what are the regulations related to rights issue. We spoke about it in detail. लिखिए इसको. भूल गए शायद. ठीक है, ये सब हो गया. Then you should know from the book that who all can invest in these instruments that we have already spoken about it. Okay. You were also asked to investigate. If you remember, I had said, इसको लिखिए ना, otherwise you'll forget. That it says that mutual funds can be directly issued by stock exchanges. You should remember this, है ना. If you don't know this, then क्या होगा, एग्जाम में आएगा प्रॉब्लम, आपको पता ही नहीं चलेगा. So stock exchanges, and you have to prove this, how stock exchanges can directly issue mutual funds. That's a statement from, this is the only instrument which can be issued by stock exchanges. Which instrument? The mutual funds. So you'll have to tell me, is it applicable to both the exchanges? Have both the exchanges issued mutual funds? Yes or no? And then ETFs can be issued by stock exchange. That I agree. But mutual funds कैसे issue होता है ये आप मुझे बताएं. आप मुझे बताओगे, you present this exchange versus that exchange. There are two exchanges. There are other exchanges, but they are now preparing for it. ठीक? हाँ. Star MF is from the BS. So you'll investigate. So you will check what is the ownership structure. Is it directly owned by the exchange, or is it just a platform where which is mapped under BSC? तो ये सब थोड़ा investigate करोगे आप, मुझे आप बताओगे. So you'll make a presentation. ठीक? चलिए. Now, how many types of convertible debts are there? Aneth, will you tell us? Partially, fully, और भी कोई है? Optional, है ना? Optionally convertible. So these are the types of debentures that you are aware of. ठीक है? And the issuer has to give what? Issuer has to specify what? Will you give us the date? Yes or no? Will he also specify the ratio of conversion? Yes sir. So these two things should come from who? The borrower or the issuer? These are terms of the issue, and hence it should come from the issuer, not from the borrower. That you should be aware of, because this possibly you know, will become if you are not aware, then it will become, if there is a ratio, then also. Third thing is, I think one more thing that I need to write is price, and ratio is proportion. So when you say proportion, it is a ratio, so it's just saying the same thing, but price is also issued. This is very important. Okay. Now let's go to IDRs, GDRs and ADRs. What is IDR, what is ADR, and what is GDR? बोलिए, what is ADR? हाँ, वो फुल फॉर्म है. What is meaning of it बताइए. First of all, does it represent the portion of an Indian company or a foreign company? DRs. The word, if it is just DR, picking up the word DR, does it represent an Indian company or a foreign company? It represents a foreign company. तो ADR क्या होगा बताइए. What is a ADR? ठीक है, अभी फिर से क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ. आस्क द सेम क्वेश्चन अगेन. इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. इफ इट इज एन IDR and you just answered that DRs are foreign companies, if it is an IDR, where would this company be listed? In India or abroad? Outside India. If it is an IDR. Okay. If it is an ADR, where would this company be listed? Would this be listed in, would this company be of America? Not listed. But this DR is a listed thing. So it is listed in America. Would this company be of America or a foreign company? Foreign company in America? Pakka? For example, if it is Infosys IDR, ADR, this company belongs to which country and is listed where? What about HDFC Bank? What about Tata Motors? What about, I think Wipro is also there. What about ICICI? Okay. So these are foreign companies to America, listed in America as depository receipts. समझे आप? Is this clear? Yes or no? Now Tata Motors is not part of, it has called off, its cancelled its DR or ADR. Investigate this. Who will investigate? NFE will investigate. Tata Motors ADR timeline. Record. Tata Motors ADR timeline. Yeah. But that is recently. Yeah, this happened prior to it. Because if you are listed there, then you become liable to SEC rules. If you are listed there, so they can, they can investigate, sue you, fine you, even order imprisonment orders, come back to the US and land up here. और यूएस में बहुत फेमस कहावत है कि इफ यू कांट सर्व टाइम, don't do crime. This, one of my directors of the computer told me when I was working for director of the, so it's a very famous saying that if you can't serve time where in the don't do crime. तो मैं पूछा ऐसा क्यों? तो उसके लिए आपको एक मूवी देखनी पड़ेगी, शॉशैंक रिडेम्पशन, है ना. वहाँ के अमेरिकन जेल में क्या होता है वो समझने के लिए आपको मूवी देखनी पड़ेगी. यहाँ से ज़्यादा बदतर हालत. ठीक, इज एब्सोल्युटली बैड. सो दैट इज व्हाई मेनी कंपनीज डिसाइड नॉट टू, इधर आप सुनो, दैट इज व्हाई मेनी कंपनीज डिसाइड नॉट टू लिस्ट, because there is an extra layer of scrutiny, and if it turns out to be against Indians, then it can be कुछ और ही हो सकता है. So you got to be careful. समझ गए आप? Have you understood? So there are IDRs, there are GDRs. What is global depository receipt, by the way? GDR क्या होगा? हाँ, अच्छा, अपना ही डेफिनेशन बना दिया अपना, टू डिफरेंट कंट्री। हाँ, so this is, yeah, अपना definition is just turning his own definition. अरे if it is a foreign company, foreign to Europe, and if it is listed somewhere in Europe, ठीक है, but it is not an European company, this will be known as GDR. जबरदस्ती है, it is listed in two different companies, इतना का, ठीक है. Lot of companies go and investigate. This is for each of you. This is for each of, I mean, for your growth, individual growth. There are a lot of companies listed in, spelling सही है ना? Is the spelling of Luxembourg correct? Never been there. ठीक है ना? Okay. पक्का? So लग्जमबर्ग में है, और कहाँ पर होगी बताइए? स्विट्जरलैंड में पता नहीं, वो देख लीजिएगा. जस्ट चेक इफ देयर आर एनी कंपनीज. वर्ल्ड्स ओल्डेस्ट स्टॉक एक्सचेंज फ्रॉम आईपीओ पर्सपेक्टिव. ओल्डेस्ट इज बेल्जियम, बट मरे हुए को बादशाह नहीं बोलते हैं. सो नो वन नोज दैट बेल्जियम. दिस हैज सर्वाइव्ड. बेल्जियम एज अ ग्रेन ट्रेडिंग प्लेस, इट डाइड. इट इज स्टिल देयर नाउ, मतलब इट सर्वाइव्स, बट वो जो बेल्जियम स्टॉक एक्सचेंज था वो नहीं रहा. सो एम्स्टरडैम हो गया, और फिर आपका लंडन स्टॉक, है ना. तो इस पे आप जाके इंडियन कंपनीज कौन कौन सी है अगली क्लास में आप हमें बताइएगा एज एन असाइनमेंट. दिस इज ग्रुप असाइनमेंट एंड एनी वन ऑफ यू कैन प्रेजेंट. लिखो आप उसको. असाइनमेंट्स मिस नहीं होनी चाहिए, बिकॉज देन द जर्नी क्या है, फिर एफर्ट निकल जाएगा. जैसे आपने आरई का आप भूल गए, रिसर्च रिसर्च बोल रहा हूँ, द राइट्स एंटरटेनमेंट यू फॉरगेट अबाउट इट, विच इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. 6 months डाउन द लेन या 2 months डाउन द लेन शुड बी स्पीकिंग डिफरेंट लैंग्वेज ऑल टुगेदर. समझ गए आप? फॉरेन करेंसी कन्वर्टेबल बॉन्ड्स क्या है ना. सो दीज आर फॉरेन करेंसी बॉन्ड्स issued in international markets. Can I remove this one? Will you do this as an assignment? पक्का? ठीक है. I think there should be ways to take screenshots also. There is. Or if you ever need a screenshot of what is written, you can simply take a QR code of this one and that will import. है ना. So अगर आपको कभी बड़ा है, so you don't have not written the full thing, just scan this thing and the image will get transferred. That is the beauty of technology. तो असाइनमेंट्स का आप एक लेते जाओ, so that I also have a record. नहीं तो मेरे पास आप क्या लिखते हो उसका कोई रिकॉर्ड नहीं है. Now foreign currency convertible bonds, what are they? They are issued in which currency? Foreign currency. So let us look at some of the examples. मसाला बॉन्ड क्या होगा? What would be the मसाला बॉन्ड? Indian bonds issued in the international market. Yes, है ना. Then there'll be dollar denominated bonds, there'll be euro bonds, ठीक है, not issued in the euro, issued somewhere else, out of euro. Good. What are commodity linked debentures? Just take a guess by the name of it. हाँ, so commodity linked debentures. So the payment is linked on based are floating rate instruments whose interest is based on the returns of the underlying commodity. So इसका return is based on what? On the underlying. हाँ, plus 2.5%. So commodity linked bond is, मान लीजिए कि the commodity has given a 5% return. So the payment on the bond, which is the coupon on the bond, or the interest paid on the bond, will be linked to the appreciation on the prices of that underlying commodity. CLDs, these are known as commodity linked debentures. What is MBS and what is asset backed securities? What is MBS? MBS is also the name of a personality from Middle East. कौन है ये? हाँ, he is a highly respected person and also the present commander-in-chief of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which is Muhammad. But we are not talking about him. We are talking about mortgage-backed securities. Mortgage. Mortgage क्या है? What is the meaning of mortgage? And this is ABS. and this is not anti braking skid, है ना, this is system, और हाँ this is asset, है ना, asset backed, auto backed नहीं है, अच्छा ऑटोमेटिक, हाँ, तो दिस इज एसेट बैक। अब ये बताइए डिफरेंस क्या है, इधर जरा आप लोग देखो, आपस में ही गप लड़ा दे रहे हैं। व्हाट इज दिस, एमबीएस और एबीएस कहते हैं, लेट द एनर्जी फ्लो हियर, इस पे बात करो बोर्ड पे। तो व्हाट इज एमबीएस, व्हाट इज एबीएस, so what is difference between MBS and ABS? What is the difference between MBS? हाँ, but what is the difference between mortgage? When you say the word mortgage, what is the difference? Huh? हाँ, so that is essentially mortgage. So this is a loan essentially backed by securities. वो सब उसी का है, उसी का फॉर्मेट है ना. So is loan not an asset? It is an asset. Loan is from the bank, is from the NBFC, is from the. So when you take a loan and it is backed by an asset which is essentially your home sweet home, it is known as mortgage, है ना. ये है ना घर, ऐसे बनाते ना बचपन में, घर बनाते थे, फिर एक नारियल का पेड़ इधर, एक नारियल का पेड़ इधर, ऐसा रास्ता था. You remember this? So this is that asset under mortgage, under loan, and if you don't pay that, तो क्या बचेगा, सिर्फ रास्ता बच जाएगा. और ऐसा जो है बहुत लोगों के साथ 2000, नारियल का पेड़ नहीं रहा, that coconut tree went away, only the rasta was there and the house was taken away when you don't pay. इसलिए you need to remember this diagram because it is backed by that asset. If you don't pay off your loan, the asset is taken up. ठीक है, तो सिर्फ रास्ता बच जाएगा. And what is asset backed securities? The question that I am trying to ask is, इधर देखिए, है ना, attain your nirvana on the board, not somewhere else. Is asset backed security a bigger, a larger terminology, or a bigger terminology, or a bigger concept than MBS? Yes or no is what something. So if that is the case, if this MBS is a subset of ABS, what are other things that I can place there? Just name few assets. Anything can be an asset. Commodity or gold loan, okay. Vehicle loans. So these are, it could be auto receivables is an asset. Is this a receiver? Is first of all, so receivables are also assets. Now the receivables could be of various types, could be your credit card, loan essentially, है ना. Credit card पे जो whatever money you picked up, that is a receivable, that is an asset for someone. Do you agree? If it does not pay, then it suffers from Altman Z score or the probability of default. If the guy does not pay, then it has a probability of default attached to it. But assuming that guy keeps on paying the money back, he keeps on paying his EMIs, credit card receivable is an asset for the credit card companies, and this is also traded. So if you have taken a credit card loan from, say, Citibank, it is possible it lands up at Wells Fargo. It is possible from here it is lands up at JP Morgan. It is possible from here it lands up at the erstwhile, now the UBS, the Credit Suisse. It is possible. It is possible it lands up at State Bank of Mauritius. So these are transacted all the time because these are considered as assets with certain amount of default, for which you do provisioning, is what you were talking about. So there is a probability of default, there is a probability, but these are all receivables are assets, and they can be structured and sold. One is credit card. The second most popular receivable is your auto loan. Now the question is, what is the backing here? The backing here is the they will take it away. So maybe that has a value of 50%, 60%, the car value 40%. ठीक है, So maybe it has a value of 53, whatever is there. So we recovered that. The balance is yet to be recovered in case you default. Car is the only asset which depreciates as soon as you drive out of the two wheels out of the showroom. Is the worst asset to own, but probably gives you the best experience. I mean, the best experience in the sense it gives you status symbol. I mean, people see it and hence it becomes an element of status. But कार आपकी जैसी गाड़ी से शोरूम से बाहर वो depreciate. So naturally, if someone has defaulted on the car, it's definitely going to lose something. But on MBS, maybe there is a loss, maybe there is no loss. If the prices shoot up, आपने 100,000 में खरीदा था घर, $1 million का घर खरीदा था, ठीक है, you are still paying the loan because the loan is of 30 years, but now the value of the loan is of the house is, if you have defaulted, maybe you have paid 500,000. The 500,000 is balance. You have not paid it. So half of the amount is not paid. $500,000 is not paid. But when I recover this and maybe I sell this in the market, maybe I am able to sell it for 3.5 million. So I have recovered $500,000 from you, discounted basis, and I am now recovering anything close to the market price, depending on the urgency. So the point is that mortgage-backed security is an asset-backed loan, yes or no? Receivables are asset-backed loans, and receivables has two parts. One is auto loan, credit card loans. Any kind of receivable, whenever you swipe something or buy something and it could be a camera loan, any sort of loan, I can mix auto loan with credit card loans with mortgage loan. This is known as structuring. This portion is known as what? When you are mixing two loans of two different nature, how could the loan nature be could differ? How can it differ? The loan nature of the loan can differ. Say the duration of this loan is this much. The duration of this loan is this much. The duration of this loan is this much. Okay. Plus the credit quality on this is maybe AAA. This is AA minus, and maybe this is junk bond, category D. When I mix all of this, what I have done is I have mixed various time durations, which is known as maturity or maculous duration, plus I have mixed what? The credit rating. When you mix this up, some portion of this, like a khichdi of all the loans, this is known as structured product. And these loans could have been taken in the US. I can sell it to a Japanese investor. गाड़ी कोई चला रहा है, कार किसी की है, someone is driving the car belongs to someone, his income level is different, a Japanese guy could be buying this. And I don't need to sell him the entire loan, I will just cut it into one portion and sell it to the Japanese. Then I'll cut another portion here. I'll just split into many portions, you know, like this. The loan, because it's an amount, because loan is an amount, I can structure it. I can split the loan in various amounts because ultimately it's a cash flow, and I can sell portion of loans to my investors. Large chunk to large investors, small chunk. That's how the scam happened in the US. We will talk about it in detail sometime, but have you understood, yes or no? What are RITs and InvITs? Rina, is this clear? समझ रहे हो आप? RITs and InvITs. What is RITs and what is InvITs? ट्रस्ट, इन्वेस्टमेंट ट्रस्ट, है ना. सो रिट्स में क्या होता है, इसमें क्या होता है? यस यस, सो दिस इज, है ना, करेक्ट. सो दिस इज अ पूल ऑफ फंड फ्रॉम वेरियस इन्वेस्टर्स, है ना. So you have various investors 1, 2, 3, 4. You collect, like mutual fund, you collect money, and then you put it in the fund and you buy commercial spaces out of it. Commercial spaces you buy, whatever yield it generates, it goes back to the pool, and then when you sell that piece of land, maybe if it is owned, in case if it is not owned, then there is no fund that goes by. I mean, apart from rental yields, there is nothing. When you sell it, say you bought it for $1 million, है ना, यानी कि लगभग 9.6 crores now. So if you bought it for $1 million and you are selling it for maybe $3.5 million, right? So that is the appreciation which goes back into. So there is capex and there is annual yield. Now you should know, when you are studying this, you should also know what is the annual yield in maybe London if you are investing in London, maybe when you are investing in Dubai, when you are investing in India. India, unfortunately, say you are investing in Mumbai, है ना, or a city like Bengaluru, or a city like Delhi, है ना, or maybe a city like Chennai, or maybe I leave our Pune here, Pune, है ना. So when you are doing this, you make about 3 to 4% annually on the amount that you invest. If you invest 1 crore, you're getting just 3% of it in real estate. 3 to 4%. Okay. Ideally, it should be upwards of. But the annual yield, how much when you lease it? How much do you make? In Dubai, you are making, there is scarcity of property, you are making 8 to 9%. Even in London, you make close to this percent. Also in New York, okay, you make how much? 8 to 9%. Why is that? अब हो सकता है कि for in certain cases, so REITs में let's investigate. Who will do that? You do that. So REITs may investigate, and I need it now before you leave. How much yield is being earned by Indian REITs? So we will immediately know this after the class. Why they earn higher amounts is because they have a park. है ना? The park से ज़्यादा how can they earn? There is something known as Central Park, and they have something known as Hyde Park, which is really big. So they ensure that there is enough green coverage in the city. So so you don't issue enough permits to construct buildings. There's a building, otherwise if they give permit like in India, then the prices will tank, and there are a lot of commercial spaces. If you go, you'll find here, just not very far, you'll see that a lot of offices are empty space, or their prices the rentals have come down. So this is a problem of plenty. Plus you only have to talk to the commissioner. There is no town planning. Over there you have to take permission from the entire town planning if you are building single building. Here you just have to go to the commissioner. I mean, town planning is involved, but if they control, there is a controlled environment, controlled supply here. That's why, one, the prices are high. Second, the billionaires keep making money. The billionaire will buy money here, next year it will escalate because you always have an under supply. Okay? Plus you have built bridges between New York and New Jersey. The bridge which is there, it is clogged. So Fridays if you go, 45 minutes of jam. That is purposely done so that people pay a premium for staying in New York. Can America not build a new flyover? It's been so many years, 50 years plus. अभी भी हो गया 20 साल, तो मेरे देखते देखते हो गया जब तक वो जैम लगता है. क्यों लगता है? There is a reason why there is jam is created, so that you stay out of the city. If you want to stay in the city, it's an extra premium in the world of finance. The jam is the amount you spend in the car and the fuel that you burn. So if you are saving that, you have to pay a premium if you come to New York or Manhattan City. If you want to live in, you have to pay a premium. So this is how they control the rental yields. Okay? So you will tell us before you leave, what is the rental yield in New York and London they are making. Not the rental yield, how much the REITs are making us, not in terms of the total returns, but in terms of the rental yield that they are earning. ठीक है? Is the question clear? है ना? ठीक है? I think मोटा मोटी want to take a break there. What is there? हाँ, मतलब just check out how much. First, our main point is REITs rental yield. How much rental yield they are earning? That is the point that you will investigate. I am not looking at the total yield. It's different. Those challenges will be there. So commercial may, but mostly it is for office spaces. Like you will buy, Blackstone will go and buy Eon IT Park. So mostly it is IT parks that they are buying and what rental yields they are making. I just want an actual number because I have studied these papers. I understand the challenges, but those are old findings. So we want to update that. Is it 3-4%? Is it 5-6%? But we know for sure when we look at various presentations that this is not in this range. This is on the higher side, and the supply issues have been created, artificially created. That's why you have a higher yield there. But here the buildings keep coming because we are expanding. We are not America. We can't compare ourselves. There's no fault in it. आप समझ गए ना? Have you understood? Yes or no? चलिए, commodities. What are precious metals? Name some of the precious metals. Can you name some of the precious metals? Huh. Which city on the planet drives the price of the metal? Which city on the planet drives the price of the metal? बोलिए, which city drives? And the answer is yes. Which exchange now? Which exchange? Stock exchange है वो, कैसे लंदन स्टॉक एक्सचेंज विल ड्राइव इट, है ना? नहीं, it is London. It is London stock exchange. कैसे हो सकता है बच्चे? It has to be. So that is known as not LSE but. So people buy forecasts from. I was working on a project, so you would buy forecast from LSE. They also sell. There is a site. If you go there, they sell the forecast of the next 6 months, 1 year. What will be the price? Understood? It is used in the pricing decision. When you are building a component, say I am building this component of some metal part, maybe this. So I will take the forecast from here, and my prices of the components that I am supplying to you will change if the prices on LME changes. So it is for pricing the product. If the price changes, then I also change. Then I pass on the cost to you. तो उस पे करेंगे बात when we are talking about inventory and stuff like that. Commodity ETFs क्या है बताइए? Where will commodity ETFs invest? Where will commodity ETFs invest? They will invest in gold ETF जैसे gold ETF. So they will collect and invest in the and put the money in the investors से पैसा आएगा. They will put in the pool. The pool will get invested in the gold, and likewise silver. Okay? And these are held in the warehouses, depositories, warehouses, and these are. Where is the world's one of the world's safest warehouse of gold? Fort Knox. और दूसरा, if you have seen this building somewhere not far, but Middle East. So earlier Burj Khalifa used to advertise that we are one of the safest places to store. In one of the classes, I think it is 21, someone asked me, one of my students, सर हमें स्टोर करना है तो मतलब बैंक में कर दो. बड़े बोलो नहीं, बैंक छोटा पड़ेगा, वाला बैंक खरीद लो. So as we told them, that we showed them in the class also. Now they have removed it from the site. It's a safety concern. पता चला ड्रोन आ गया उस चक्कर में. Then people, because everyone was like, wow, Burj Khalifa, where is it? होंगे पता नहीं, I don't know, but they used to. होगा, I'm sure. So they used to advertise that Burj Khalifa. So the question is that yes, these are kept at safe locations, and these are pretty. I mean, there's a lot of surveillance and there's a lot of safety and security. It used to be a safe this thing, है ना? तो मतलब I was reminded of Dome 3. When I look at Dome 2 and Dome 3, मतलब ऐसी कौन सी बिल्डिंग जहाँ ऐसे उल्टा जाते हैं? So then when I realized that okay, Burj Khalifa also has these kinds, then I could relate to Dome 2 and Dome 3. ठीक है? हाँ, Mission Impossible also correct. ठीक है, there are warehouse receipts also. ये देखो अब इधर, अभी Fort Knox सब छोड़ दो, अभी टॉपिक, there are a lot of topics to cover. If we get stuck on one topic, then फिर धूम में टाइम निकल जाए. So warehouse receipts are, you get receipts when you deposit your goods in the warehouse, है ना? So those are warehouse receipts. ठीक है? So investigate now. हर्ष आपको करना है NCDEX का do they issue warehouse receipts is something you will investigate. I need this before you leave. ठीक है? NCDEX समझ गए आप? Warehouse, do they issue warehouse receipts? NCDEX, National Commodity and Derivative Stock Exchange, ऐसा स्टॉक एक्सचेंज एंड डेरिवेटिव्स, कमोडिटी एंड डेरिवेटिव्स एक्सचेंज है. हाँ, तो ये क्वेश्चन है, आपको इन्वेस्टिगेट करना. हु, so basically the underlying question is, in India, which all companies issue warehouse receipts? I know when you keep the product commodity in the warehouse, then you get a receipt. That's a security. हाँ, तो आप मुझे बताओगे कि which company in India, which company issues warehouse receipts? NCDEX is one of the companies where, हाँ, it's an US company. बोल रहा हूँ ना, नेशनल कमोडिटी एंड डेरिवेटिव. नहीं नहीं, इंडिया है, नेशनल है ना. लाइक द वे वी स्टडिंग द स्पॉट, नेशनल स्पॉट कंपनी. हु वाज टेलिंग अस अबाउट द स्पॉट? द अदर लेडी वाज टेलिंग. ठीक है, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. इन द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ द टाइम, वील हैव टू मूव फॉरवर्ड. So the question is, who all in India issue warehouse receipts? Usually, these commodity exchanges where you go and dump your grains and groceries or whatever, not grocery, grains, they will issue you warehouse receipts. समझे आप? And there are government warehouses. Listen to me. There are government warehouses across India. So when you, as a farmer or as a merchant, as a trader, you go and deposit that, you get a warehouse. हाँ, for various reasons. चलिए, primary securities market is split into what? One is primary, which is IPO, and the second is secondary. ये सब आपको पता है. This I don't think you need to know. Secondary is nothing but your exchange. So all your stock exchanges are essentially secondary market. These are platforms, technology platforms, where you get to buy and sell. They offer the technology. Exchanges give you technology platform. समझे? Primary market is nothing but a process. IPO is nothing but a process. So primary market is a process via which you come on the secondary market. You know, I was always confused. Where is the primary market? Where does it exist? It does not exist as such. It's a process in which you first time you sell. And this is an exchange. An exchange today is not a physical location. 90s, 2000, up till 2000, it used to be a physical location because you could go there. Today, if you want to visit the exchange, they will not allow you inside the building. You have to take permission, you have to take passes, you have to put your Aadhaar card, you have to tell who are you going to meet. So exchanges are not physical locations anymore. These are online locations. These are online locations where you buy and sell. So it's not about being a physical location. Understood? Is that clear? Aneth, are you understanding? Yes or no? Pakka? 100%? Good. Now, what are the types of way in which you can raise funds? How many ways you can raise funds? Can you raise funds from the primary market? Yes or no, which is the IPO? Okay. Secondary market, can you raise funds? Okay. So that would be known as follow on offer. Okay. There is also something known as private placement. Okay. Private placement means what? How is it different from the public offer? To a set of investors, select set. So when you say private, it is to select set. However, the regulators would want to know, the exchanges would want to know, and the public would also want to know who are those select set. You can't hide that information. It's all available in the public domain. Yes. Okay. Then, and it cannot exceed more than 50. This is again an exam question because this is about a number. So private placement cannot exceed beyond 50. It cannot go. Put in your head. Remember this. Maybe they will ask you because this is a number which is an important number. Okay. Now the private placement, okay, the private placement could be in the form of, either the QIB. So the private placement could be in the form of QIB, qualified institutional buyers, or it could be in the way of preferential issue. इसको थोड़ा देख लेते. This is important because this is not defined anywhere. Only in the NISM book this is defined. I've tried looking so many times. Every time I lose this page, which is page number 25 of the book, this definition Google is not able to throw. I don't know why. Abhi hai ki nahi, but last year I was trying to put, a couple of years ago, I was trying to put the definition. I was not able to find the definition. So, what is QIB? Is a private placement of shares made by a listed company to a certain qualified categories of investors known as QIB. So, this is a qualified set of investors. Okay, this is whoever qualifies for this will get the allocation. Okay, and then what is preferential issue is to a select group or institute of people or institution. So either they are people or institution. Here there is a qualification. Whoever qualifies is eligible. Whoever is not qualified is not eligible. But in this case, the preferential issue is all about, I know that I have to offer to you, then this is a preferential issue. If I say that anyone who's above 100 crores of revenue and has an intent to stay with us for 2 years, they are most welcome, then it will become preferential issue. Sorry, it will become a QIB. You are absolutely right. Yeah. Anyone who's eligible becomes a QIB. But here it is to a select set that I say, okay, you. Now, Annette, this is an exercise for you, which I need before you move out of this facility, is give me a list of companies which have come up with preferential issue in 24, 25 and 26 year to date YTD. Clear? Is it clear? Yes or no? Take a picture of this one. This is important. I'll put this on QR code. This is your assignment. Don't forget. Here you go. Scan it. Okay. There's also a couple of concepts here. I think these are interesting concepts. The chapter is a never-ending chapter. खत्म ही नहीं होता. हाँ, I think जिसने बनाया बहुत फुर्सत में. चलिए. Now onshore versus offshore listing. Onshore क्या होगा? Offshore क्या? Onshore is always domestic market, and offshore would be, बोलिए. हाँ, foreign market. हाँ. So onshore is domestic. Onshore. If the capital is raised from the domestic market, it is called onshore. If the capital you are raising somewhere else, then it will be known as offshore market. ठीक है ना? Clear है? Good. What is sweat equity? हाँ. So employees, which all other categories? इसको आप देख लो. This is important. So sweat equity belongs to, one is, पहला तो आएगा. What is the first category? First you will have promoters, then you will have employees, no? So you will have promoters, you will have employees, and first promoters, and then employees. Some of them could be technocrats. That means the CTO and all these kind of guys. Without CTO, how will you run your company? So this is known as sweat equity. Okay. What other things they mention? Technocrat as rewards for their contribution. Okay. What is OFS? And I've made a video on OFS, so you should go and watch. There is on the YouTube, there is a video on OFS. If you are not able to find it, let me know, and I'll teach you again. But there is a video on OFS, very, very important. What is OFS? OFS is, बताइए, offer for sale. When the promoter, not sales, sale. When the promoter is selling his shares, it is known as OFS. And yesterday in the presentation in the morning, you have seen one video which spoke about the video called permanent promoter, which spoke about who is qualified as a promoter. There are 3 levels of criteria applied to it, if you remember. He has a decision making. He holds more than how much? I think 10% or something. 5%. 5%, correct? 5%. There is a threshold. So that's a threshold criteria. He holds an important so he's a key managerial person and he holds some designation, an important designation within the company. These 3 criteria are there. Just go and watch that video, the permanent promoter. That links to this one. So if you are not a promoter, then you will not be able to bring OFS, and there have been hurdle checks and balances placed so that the existing promoter cannot be fired overnight. Just few people collude rather, and they fire the promoter. That is not possible. And the public holding at all times has to be there. The promoter, when a promoter becomes a public holder, it will take a 3 years time. So immediately the promoter will not be reflect under the public holding. What is the meaning of public holding? For a small company, minimum 25% has to be held by people like us, public. For a large company, 1,000 crore and plus, also known as a main board company, 10%, minimum 10%, or now it is based on the market cap, how much minimum shareholding by the public has to be there. You cannot list a company and have 100% with yourself. Then it is not a public company. So public shareholding has to be there. Government has specified that. SME, it is 25% all times. For large cap companies, it was 10%. Now it is as per the category. If it is a large cap company, smaller holding is okay, because you can't offload all the companies, especially companies of national importance. For LIC, they allowed only 5% offloading. They said it is, so instead of 10%, they said only 5% can be held by public, and it is okay. So public holding has to be there. So when the permanent promoter is changing, your public holding does not increase. It takes 3 years. For example, if he is holding, say, 7%, and somehow he decides that he will not be called a promoter, he classifies himself as a public holder, this 7% does not get added immediately in the public holding. It will take 3 years window to get added. This is all done from stopping the manipulation. SEBI is much, much smarter. Regulators are very, very smart, and we should have a lot of respect for them. However, the problem is they are always short staffed. The companies are 5,000 plus, and the corrupt minds are 500 times more. So regulators are always short on staff. Okay. What are employee stock options? Have you understood OFS? One more time, OFS is when the promoter is selling his own share. That is known as OFS, and you will make Tarun, this exercise is for you. You will make a good presentation on the regulatory side of it, that when can an OFS be brought? What are SEBI regulations with regards to OFS? I think you will find this in the LODR, which anyways these guys are working on. But I need an OFS, separate topic on OFS, rights issue, OFS. Okay. Understood? Take a screenshot of this one. Do not forget. Download this one. Regulatory thing, the SEBI regulations. Is it clear? Yes or no? चलो फटाफट मैं बताता हूँ. So who are the various participants? Can I remove this? Scan this. Can I remove this? Done. Now who are the various participants? Market intermediaries. First is so stock exchanges. These are financial. You want the paper? Financial intermediaries. One is a stock exchange. Second is depository. What is a depository, by the way? What's a depository? What's a depository? Who's a depository? Name a depository. So these are the companies where your e-form of e-shares, electronic form of shares are stored. You can go and convert. Who are depository participants? So basically they represent depositories, and largely all your brokers are depository. So for example, ICICI Securities is a depository participant. They help in opening something known as demat account, and via demat account you open an account with these guys so that you can store your shares in electronic format. So this is like an e-warehouse where your shares and all your securities of electronic format is stored. This is like a e-warehouse. This is the warehouse. Earlier the shares were saved in physical forms like this. These have been converted into electronic format. Who does this job? Either CDSL or NSDL. NSDL was founded by NSE, National Stock Exchange, and CDSL was founded by BSE. How will you remember this? N for N. So NSE here, and B and C go together. So that's how you'll remember. NSDL was founded by NSE and CDSL was founded by BSE. Electronic forms, but you cannot go directly to CDSL and NSDL. There is a disclaimer here. And open the account and say, please open my account and these are my shares. They said these authorities we give to the brokers, whoever opens a demat account. So ICICI, Kotak, HDFC, all Zerodha, Grow, they all, when you open a demat account, essentially you are opening an account with a deposit. For trading account, why do you open a trading account? Trading account is the account where you keep in your money and you have that buy and you can punch the buy and sell order. Earlier days, there were two forms required. There was a separate demat form required and there was a separate trading account form required. If you miss signatures on any of those forms, the account will not get opened. Now it is all electronic. So you don't understand that you are signing a demat form, you are signing a trading account. Demat is for depository and trading account is for the buy and sell order and the money transfer with the broker. Understood? Right? This is all, now you don't realize that because it's all electronic now. So deposit period. Now the disclaimer is directly you can open with an NSDL also. When I was doing training for NSDL, I realized that you can open NSDL directly. NSDL demat accounts can be opened, and I think they also have an payments bank something which is called Jiffy. So if I can directly go to the site and check, so we'll figure out NSDL. Jiffy is, I think, their payments bank. NSDL Jiffy bank, so they've gone into payments bank also, which many people are not aware. Okay. And this is NSDL Jiffy zero balance. So when I was presenting on behalf of NSDL, this is what. Okay. And now I think you can directly also open this. Many people are not aware, and I think you can also open now, which is known as NSDL demat account. Let's just check. This is the impression that I have from the presentation. So where is the enter button? How do I hit enter? Search. See, open your demat account online by giving us a. You can open NSDL account through any DP. Open demat online by clicking on the below icons. These are the prime DPs. These are Insta DP. You can also give a missed call to them. Maybe they'll redirect one of these, leave your contact. So I think it still says that you have to go via the DPs. These are the DPs. This is an Apex DP, all the top guys. Then there are prime DPs, the second layer, tier 2. Geojit is a tie-up with BNP Paribas and the state of Kerala. Okay, and or you can give them. So try giving a call to them and see how it works. Then the whole learning complete. है ना? आप इनसे पूछना कि do you have a demat account? You guys already have a anyone who does not have a demat account, try and see if it works. You have a demat account? No. So you give a call to this number. Take this number कल कर लीजिए, just write 8750 है ना, and just understand if they are opening a demat account तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, very good for India. 8750163163 certain. ठीक, चलिए let's go back to the training. Who are trading members? Trading members, what is the other name for trading members? Or the previous name, the former name is, a word is broker. So they thought that this probably the word is derogatory. In the name of brokers, possibly a lot of scams have happened. So they wanted to give it a professional name, is what I would think. So they've changed and they call it trading members. They facilitate the trade. The retail clients, are known as, earlier they will call as retail traders. Now they are known as, what is the name they are known as? I will tell you. I'm just skipping my mind. So this is prop desk, FII, DII, and these are, I'll just tell you, just skip that, park this aside. It is skipping my mind right now. Too many things on the head. And a sub broker is known as, they are known as, now I can recollect. So retail traders, they have been given a better name. They are called, are they called participants? No. Just park it aside. It will just, while as I'm speaking, I'm not able to recollect. So a broker is known as a trading member and a sub broker. So you have a broker and a sub broker is who? Broker is the main guy who opens the trading account and the demat account. So trading account and demat account is opened by, plus demat account is opened by who? The broker. What is the purpose of having a trading account? Trading account is the account where you keep the money. Why will you keep the money there? Because you want to buy or sell. So SEBI saw that a lot of people were keeping money in the trading account and forgetting it. So they came up with a regulation, flush out the money, because it's not safe. If any broker goes down, then he takes away your money. If he becomes bankrupt, then the money is gone. So SEBI came up with a regulation, said 1 month, end of every month, and that you choose as investors, okay, or quarter, every quarter they will check whatever is the extra money lying, that they will flush out in your bank account. And SEBI said categorically, which is very good, very, very good, they said that brokers are not bankers. So money should not be lying with the brokers. Okay? It should not be lying with the brokers. So they flush out. So your money comes and then you have to you get it back in the trading account to be able to sell it. Why? Because earlier a lot of people would ask which broker is good. A new broker, obviously you have to say that this is an old broker. Maybe I'm not supposed to advise anyways. Maybe you don't know which broker is good or bad, but we would tell that this is a new broker, this is an old broker. Fortunately or unfortunately, all the features, why you had to open an account with a broker is because all the new features, the new age features with the new age brokers. So maybe it has just come 1 day ago, but all the good features, the product feature, the trading feature, the app feature was there with the new brokers, not the old brokers. So, but people were also wary of them. So one is a trading account. Second is a demat account, where this is an e-warehouse where your shares are kept, and the demat account is owned by CDSL or NSDL. CDSL for supported by, floated by BSE. This is floated by this. These two accounts are opened by a guy known as broker. What are the names? Some of the names: ICICI Securities, Kotak, HDFC Bank. These are the old ones. Kotak Securities, HDFC Securities, etc., etc. The new ones are Zerodha, Grow, Dhan, App, etc. So these are brokers, now known as trading members. Now naturally, the brokers, the ICICI Securities and Kotak, they themselves cannot reach everywhere on their own, correct? So they would need guys who can support them in this business. So they would take help from they would take help from sub brokers. They will appoint sub brokers, so that they are like channel partners, business partners, and they will help in opening the accounts, and that is how the business will grow. So in Pune, you will have 2 or 3 offices of Kotak Securities, but you will have hundreds of channel partners known as sub brokers, who will report into the brokers. Understood? So the brokers, the trading, the sub brokers, understand the structure of it. So you, on the top, you have a broker, also known as trading member. So the sub broker compliance is taken by broker. So the broker would report it to him for all compliances, all documentation, or paperwork. Like Motilal Oswal, if you become a sub broker, you report it to the Motilal Oswal. Understood? Yes or no? Explain in very detail, you should not forget. And the retail participants, the retail, now I remember. So now one question which I skipped is, so they changed couple of names. Brokers are now known as TMs, trading members. Sub brokers are known as APs, associate persons. They are associated, hence associate or associated persons, something like that. Just check whether the ED is there or not. These are trading members. And the retail client said, the retail word is like derogatory, is like chiller. So those guys are known as clients. It's like you are giving less importance to retail. Chiller hai, it's all khudra. So that's not good. Understood now? Who's the custodian? Custodian holds your securities. He holds your funds. He holds your securities. Okay? So that is a custodian. What is Clearing Corporation of India? Clearing Corporation. Very important concept. What is Clearing Corporation? So he is a guy between the buyer and the seller. He takes counterparty position. Who is a counterparty? Position between buyers and sellers. So when you sell it, the shares don't go directly to him. The shares goes to this guy, and then he transfers. When you buy it, the fund then does not directly go to this one. The fund goes to Clearing Corporation of India, and then this guy transfers the fund. Understood? So that's how the transaction happens. Let me just rectify this one. This is not correct. This is correct. The fund comes to, when you buy it, the fund comes here, and then this gets transferred from. I'll just make another one. So this is Clearing Corporation of India Limited, CCIL. Okay. This is the seller. When a seller sells, so he transfers the securities of whatever nature to him. Okay. And this is the buyer here. So the securities then are transferred to the buyer via CCI. Is this clear? Yes or no? Securities are transferred. This is to avoid any counterparty risk of buyers or sellers defaulting on their promise or going bankrupt. The buyer transfers the funds. The funds are transferred to the seller, this guy, because buyer is buying, so he will transferring the fund to the seller. So the funds are transferred via. This has a very important role to play, and this is why when you buy or sell, the money is not lost or shares are not lost. Without this, Indian markets would not be such a strong market. The Indian capital markets would not have the depth if this company were not there, which is Clearing Corporation of India. Okay? Then there are clearing banks. Every clearing member has an account with a clearing bank. So there are multiple roles that are played. So one is a clearing corporation, one is a clearing bank, same function, funds transfer. Then there are merchant bankers. Merchant banker come within the ambit or come within the larger definition of investment banker. Who is an investment banker? Everyone on the planet claims I am an investment banker. That is a problem. So who's an investment banker? Someone who's trading, who's actually punching orders in New York Stock Exchange, London Stock Exchange, Amsterdam Exchange, or NSE or BSE, punching orders for or from that exchange. If brokers are allowed to be inside the exchange. So this is known as front office job. Lot of good jobs like front office, actual trading job where you make millions of dollars and you get to stay in New York and Manhattan and you get earn millions of dollars as remuneration, as commission, as bonus. Those front office jobs don't come to it, unfortunately. So the second job is the back office job, where you are doing reconciliation, and this is known as middle office. Why middle office? This is between the front office and the back. You have the middle office, and third is back office. So back office is doing the job of risk management. They are seeing that the money is transferred between the buyers and sellers, and securities are transferred between the buyers and sellers. This job is done by middle office. This job is known as risk management. Exactly what the Clearing Corporation of India was doing in India, that work is done by middle office. And if I have bought it, I should get the shares. If I have sold it, I should get the money. That matching is done by the middle office. And most of these companies like eClerx, UBS, Credit Suisse, these kind of jobs are middle office jobs in India. They're just a computer-based reconciliation risk management job. Then is the back office job, where you are simply doing spreadsheet, collection, paisa aaya, paisa gaya, money has come in, money has gone out, etc., etc. Okay? So these are one part. This is known as all trade-related functions. Starts from a trade. The other functions of investment banking are merger and acquisitions, IPO, which is merchant banker, and any related banking function, not the retail banking function, the commercial banking functions like M&A, merger acquisition. Merchant banker is for IPO. So unfortunately, even a back office guy in India calls himself an investment banker. Wow, he's working for investment banking, he's doing the deals. You're thinking of this guy, and you end up a guy who's very good in spreadsheet. Is the job bad? No, it is not bad, but that is not real finance job. Please understand. So a lot of guys in middle office and back office you will meet, they're always upgrading themselves. They're always going for certification like CFA, CPA, NISM, etc. And those are the guys who go to MBA colleges so that they can. The top management in this office is always from IIMs, ISB, or some top college, because it's a process to be managed. These guys not necessarily come from good MBA schools. They're hardcore traders who work for 12, 16 hours when the market is in a boom. You will not be able to talk to them. So we were taken to, I think this was Deloitte office. Was it Deloitte office? Deutsche Bank. I think we were taken to, not Deloitte office, sorry. We were taken to, in New York, we were taken to Deutsche Bank to meet a set of traders. Sleepy eyes, teary eyes, they are so overwhelmed, not well dressed, the shirts are all crushed, because they have so many trades to focus on. They work so many hours, international products, They all bother about money. They make tons of money, but they are not interested in interacting with MBA students. They don't have time. They're all so these guys are from could be from any school, basic degree, basic graduation, etc. And that's how they're traders. The top management in these schools are largely from top schools in India, and then you have graduates and all. There are also good functions within this, but most of these guys I see come across, they are not satisfied because the real job in investment banking, I think, is the deals. When you're working on, these are large companies, or you're working on private equity guys are investment bankers, VCs, venture capitalist guys, see angel investors maybe, or angel investing family office. When you work here, they all need CFAs, CAs. So this is the real top of the club, put together. They are doing all the deals there. Then you have merchant bankers who are helping in IPOs, and then there are other job functions. This is all known as investment banking. But this in IPO, in NISM and all, they talk about this guy. He is responsible for. There are three categories of merchant banker: category 1, 2, 3. And just check about merchant banking. Then I'll present later on, because I would need some material to present on it. Who are underwriters? One word quickly. Underwriters कौन होते हैं बताइए? हाँ? So underwriters are those guys who promise the success of the IPO. In a very simple language, listen to it carefully. If the company said minimum how much you have to sell to public for SME, पूरी कंपनी बिकवा दोगे आप. And this has changed. So there is a disclaimer I'm putting there. You will have to change. So if 25% is what I have to sell, but only 20% people have bought my shares, 5% shares have still not been offloaded. So this underwriter, who is essentially a merchant banker with license, merchant banker requires a license, underwriting requires. So merchant banker who is also an underwriter, listen to this carefully, underlining it, a merchant banker who is also an underwriter. So essentially this is a merchant banker who also has underwriting license, is allowed to buy that extra 5% which you should have sold but you've not sold. They will pick this up and ensure that IPO does not fail. IPO is listed. For this, they will charge some price and some fees, etc. for the fundraising initiative. Is it clear? Yes or no? Later वो बाद में देखेंगे क्या होता है. Yes, because it does not belong to them. So they will transfer. Yes, that's only for subscribing to the IPO. Yeah. Merchant bankers also get some shares for underwriting. Sorry, not for underwriting, but for, this is for known as market making. But market making you will study in IPO class, not now. Market making as a concept that is related to, इसको लिख लो आप, market making is a concept which comes from an IPO class, which a merchant banker does to provide liquidity to your shares. There should be some shares always available with someone. If there is a sell order, someone should buy. If there is a buy order, someone should be able to sell. So that is done by merchant banker. So about 25% is for the public. Roughly about 1.2% is for the merchant bankers, so that they can do a job of. So total how much you have to list? Minimum 26.2% roughly is listed. From SEBI, the category is minimum 25% has to be offloaded for which company? SME. Yes. And you give certain amount of share to the merchant bankers, so that whenever an order is placed, for example, if someone hits the buy button and the order does not execute for many days, you will lose faith in the stock exchanges. Someone should be sitting on the other side to sell you this. Understood? If you press the sell button, and what if the order does not execute for months? No one wants to sell the company. Then you lose faith in the stock exchange. So there's someone should be sitting on the other side to buy your shares. So that is market making. समझे आप? Last few points and pages, and then we'll stop here. This chapter is never ending. Because they include options and all of that will cover tomorrow, है ना? So just very quickly, who are institutional participants? Let's understand. Just name a few institutional participants and we'll stop here. Are mutual funds institutional participants? Are FPIs, earlier known as FIIs, not known as FIIs, not known as FIIs anymore. They are now known as FPIs, foreign portfolio investors. Are they institutional investors? To my understanding, P note is banned in India. Those are banned. So P notes were instruments. So Prina, make a note on this one. The P note thing, it has been banned. It's a regulatory change. So look at the compliance side of the regulatory impact or the regulatory thing on P note. What is the regulatory clarification? Okay. Mutual funds are there. Insurance companies are also institutional participants. These are the guys who also buy shares and various types of securities. Insurance companies. Pension funds, yes or no? Venture capital funds, yes or no? Venture capital funds, they are also your investors. And then there are private equity firms. They are also your, but they invest in private equity. So they would not invest in public equity. They exit at the time of IPO. It's a private equity. But generally there is a fund tenure, and the reason they are a private equity because they want to invest in private equity. At the time of listing, they would exit until unless there are some regulatory hurdles which have been placed. But they have a fund age. It's called vintage. So you have to exit as a fund. Vintage. फंड की लाइफ होती है ना, लिस्ट हो गया तो अब 200 साल पकड़ के बैठे रहोगे, 5 साल 7 साल, देयर इज अ फंड विंटेज. सो यू हैव टू एग्जिट सूनर और लेटर. तो प्राइवेट इक्विटी को आप यही पकड़ के चलो मोटा मोटी कि दे आर नॉट होल्डिंग पब्लिक कंपनीज फॉर ए लॉन्ग पीरियड. दे हैव टू क्लोज द फंड, raise new funds, give them the IRR, prove them, and then close it, then again go for fundraising. So it's a 5-year, 7-year cycle. It's known as vintage. Then there are hedge funds and AIFs, and we will talk separately, and we'll stop here then. There are AIFs of 3 categories, 1, 2, and 3, that we'll talk separately. Maybe we'll cover it. Okay. Then there are employee provident funds. They also invest. Then there are national pension schemes, so pension funds, they also invest, put their money. There are family offices. Every rich guy has a family office. Think of a rich guy who owns 1,000 crore company. He will have a family office. It's a separate office which is in the business of investing in other small companies. 100, 200 crore they will allocate here. They will invest in other companies. When the other companies will become bigger, they will exit or maybe bring IPO. They still remain invested. Every rich guy has this. Okay? But it's owned by the promoter. So every fund, think of which are family-owned company. Reliance will have a family office. Adani will have a family office. Praj Industries would have a family office. So think of a TVS would have a, Murugappa Group will have a family office. Think of any large where the promoter name is visible, they would have a family. Think of Infosys, they would have a family office. His son would have a family office. Think of Wipro, they have a family office. Even Tatas would have their own family office. We will stop here, and then there are corporate treasury. We'll stop here, I think. So good amount of we have covered. Balance 5% is there, which we would cover